Normally we give a name to the character and physical description, mannerisms, and indicators. You probably read stories where there's no name. The protagonist doesn't have a name. It's just he or she. Or it could be an animal or a bird. I have a collection of stories written in 1930, animal stories, where the author personifies the birds and the animals in such a clever way that it's so believable. And you're in that animal's space, and you're in that animal's body, and you're seeing and doing all these things. So name is optional, but again, you can really make a character interesting by giving an interesting name or nickname that causes people to engage. Where did you get such a name? Physical description, you want to give a little bit. Don't overdo it, because you know what's most insulting to a reader is you being spoon-fed every detail. You have physical description like a scar, a limp, sometimes wonky eyes, hair that's different, whatever. Something that distinguishes that person and adds to the kind of character you're creating. It needs to add to it. You have to make it believable. Characters have to be believable. Okay? So a mannerism could be, again, as I mentioned, a limp. It could be a facial tic. It could be some red-faced when confronted with a woman, you know, automatic response of nervousness. Mannerisms, and if you repeat them, that really does pin your character. And that's in theater too. In theater, if you see comic, they repeat the same actions. The comic character will repeat the same action a few times, so now you associate that action with that character. And it's similar in writing too. Mannerisms are part of that person. Indicators, though, these are really interesting. They show up past occupations. So somebody like a guy turns up and he's wearing a shirt and tie, and his hands are all calloused. Right away you say, where did he come from? He's a lumberjack. Came into town to get the marriage certificate. He's going to get married next week, right? So that's past occupations, homeland of origin, okay, social class, history of migration. A lot of stories come out of history of migration, especially in North America. Maybe you are mixing cultures. So, I mean, I'm mixed. I'm French, German, Dutch, and Irish. I mean, well, I could say, okay, from my Irish side, la la la, from my French side, la la la, right? So I grew up actually with English and French as the language in my household, so it was changed over all the time. So that lets me look at life a little different, because I know the songs, I know the cuisine, I know of both. And then St. Patrick's Day was a big day. You know, we're all green, right? I mean, so there's a whole mix, and I think you can do that with your characters. Give them a little bit of background that they're coming from. So make sure in your mind you say, okay, this person is going to have emigrated here from Germany. And now we're telling the story through the eyes of his grandson. And in Germany he was, say, a car mechanic. The grandson here is a doctor. And so now we have that kind of history in social class. We have a jump in social class. We have a homeland. We have occupation. We have migration. So to create a complex character, they have to be believable. And the characters create tension just by being polar opposites. So if you're worried about tension in a short story, create two different characters. They're going to clash. Their vibe is going to be so different one from the other, they're going to clash. So right away you have tension, right? So that's one way of doing it. Give characters a handicap. physical, psychological, emotional, or family who are dysfunctional. So this again is complexity. Give them something they have to work through. You know, I wonder if I put it on here. Any of you heard of the Fisher-King wound? Does that phrase mean anything? Fisher-King wound? In psychology, that is very common. It's a so-called mythology of the Irish, and if you think about your own life, just for a second, reflect. Something happens to steer you in a certain direction. You're going along, maybe you haven't made up your mind yet about what you want to be. You're going along and you may have an idea that, yeah, I do want to do that with my life. And then something happens. It can be psychological, it can be physical, it can be whatever. You think about it, something may have happened in your family to somebody close to you, which sent you into a sudden shock. But most of us have. If you really look back, most of us have this. And that's one, I gave a whole seminar on that one time, how to use the Fisher-King wound in writing. And how you can create the character, and then the character changes track and goes over this way instead of continuing on this way. Sure. Usually it's one striking event. Unexpected, you know, you're with your grandfather that you adore, and you're having fun, and he has a heart attack and dies right in front of you. Wow. Characters are active in their desire for something better. Unless it's a criminal who wants horrible things to happen. Usually a criminal wants to be the top dog, it doesn't matter, so he wants something for himself. Have a dream, are motivated or strong need to escape a bad situation. So we have to give them something they're active in. You have a character, you have all of this, you know, going on, but then you have to give them something active that they're involved in. Otherwise the story is dull. Why tell it?